Today we welcome special guest, Carlie Weinreb, who's already built up numerous impressive achievements in the field of tax. She's lectured at Schulich, Queens, U of T, and also at the head office of PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC. She has become a media sensation, with her most popular CBC Facebook video garnering over 400,000 views and counting. Carlie will be using mental math, an increasingly important skill, to explain the income tax system and filing your return. Without further ado, let's get started.
I'm so excited to be here at the University of Western. I heard it was a sleepover camp in the school all-in-one. And today I'm going to be teaching you how the income tax system works and starting off with a little warm-up.
So can I just get like 4 people from the audience to just shout out like a number between 0 and 9? Anyone? 8. 8. What next?
5.
5. What next? Pardon? Okay, someone shout out 7. Last one? 3. So as Carlie's warm-up exercise, she's going to be calculating GST sales tax on $85.73.
10, 40, 65, 1105, 10, 40, 10, 40,
Start with the change.
9, 10, 39, 949, 9, 10, 40, 65, 1105, 1114.
Is that right? Can anyone confirm that? 1114? GST, 13% on that? Does anyone have a calculator?
1114, yeah, that's right.
1114 to the penny? Okay, that's good. Let's start.
John?
Okay. Joe makes 50,000.
Just talk on.
Joe, 50,000. The first 45,000 that someone makes is taxed at 15%. The next 45,000 that someone makes is taxed at 22%. Federal tax. 15% of 45,000, 10% 4,500, 5% 2,250, 15% 6,750. So far we have taxed 45,000. We need to tax 50,000. How much more do we need to tax?
We tax 45,000. How much more to tax? Yes. 5,000.
Good. 22% of 5,000. 10% 500, 20% 1,000, 2% 100, 22% 1,100. Total federal tax: 6,750, 6,850, 7,850. Subtract federal non-refundable tax credit. We are going to do that soon. We will get this number from this box. Now I'm going to do the provincial board. The first 40,000 that someone makes is taxed at 5.05%. The next 40,000 that someone makes is taxed at 9.15%. Basic Ontario tax: 5.05% of 40,000. 10% 4,000, 5% 2,000, 0.05% 20, 5.05% 2020. So far we have taxed 40,000 and we need to tax 50,000. How much more do we need to tax?
$10,000.
9.15% of 10,000. So there's 4 zeros, divide by 2 zeros, and then I'm going to move the decimal 2, 1, 2, 915. Total basic Ontario tax, 915, 935, 2,935. Subtract federal non-refundable tax credit. We will get this number from this box. Now I'm going to do the non-refundable board. Basic personal amount. Federal gives you 11,000. Provincial gives you 10,000. CPP contributions. It is on the T4, 2,300. So federal gives you 2,300, provincial gives you 2,300. EI premiums. It is on the T4, 930. Federal gives you 930. Provincial gives you 930. Canada employment amount. Lesser of earnings or 1,200. Earnings is 50,000. Or so 50,000. What's lesser, 50,000 or 1,200?
1,200.
Federal gives you 1,200. Provincial gives you nothing. Public transit, the number of months, time, how much it costs times number of months. So it's on the T4. It is Joe buys bus passes every month for $80. So $80 times 12 months. 8 times 12, 96, add on a 0, 960. Federal gives you 960, provincial gives you nothing. Disability amount. Joe does not have a disability, so 0. Federal gives you 0, provincial gives you 0. Interest paid on student loans. It is on the T4. Joe paid interest on student loans, 2,000. Federal gives you 2,000. Provincial gives you 2,000. Education amount, full-time, tuition. Joe paid tuition of 4,000. So federal gives you 4,000, provincial gives you 4,000. Education amount, full-time, 400 a month. So federal gives you 400 a month. Joe went to school full-time 4 months. 4 times 4, 16, add on 2 zeros, 1,600. Federal gives you 1,600. Provincial gives you 540 a month. 1 month, 540. 2 months, 1,080. 4 months, 2,160. Textbook full-time, 65. Federal gives you 65 a month. So you went to school 4 months, 4 times, so 1 month, 65, 2 months, 130, 4 months, 260. Federal gives you 260, provincial gives you nothing. Allowable medical expenses equals medical expenses minus lesser of 2,200 or 3% of net income. allowable medical expenses equals, so medical expenses on the T4, he has medical expenses of $1,700 minus lesser of $2,200 or 3% of net income. Net income is what you make, so 3% of 50,000. 1% 500, 3% 1,500. Allowable medical expenses equals 1,700 minus lesser of 2,200 or 1,500. What's lesser?
1,500.
Correct. 1,700 minus 1,500, 200. Federal gives you 200, provincial gives you 200. Your donations up to a max of 200. So your donations, this is his first time ever that he gave a donation of 150. So your donations up to a max of 200. So it's 150. Provincial gives you 150 and federal gives you 150. Total non-refundable amounts. I'm going to add all these amounts. I'm going to add the tens and ones first. 30, 90, 150, 170, 150, 200. Now I'm going to add the hundreds, 300, 1,200, 1,200, 1,400, 2,300, 2,900, 3,100, 3,300, 3,400. Now I'm going to add the thousands. 11,000, 13,000, 14,000, 16,000, 20,000, 21,000. $3,600. $3,600. $24,600. And I'm going to round it to 25,000. 15% of 25,000. 10%, 2,500. 5%, 2,250. 2,150. 15%, 1,250. 3,650. Now I'm going to add all these provincial amounts. I'm going to add the tens and ones first. 30, 90, 140. Now I'm going to add the hundreds. 300, 1,200, 1,300, 1,500, 1,600. Thousands. 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, 18,000, 20,000. $17.40, $21,740. And I'm going to round it to 22,000. 5% of 22,000. 10%, 2,200. 5%, 1,100. Okay, so I'm going to take this number and I'm going to put it over here. So, total federal tax, $78.50. Subtract federal non-refundable tax credit, $37.50. Total net federal tax, $4,100. I am going to take this number and I'm going to put it over here. So, total basic Ontario tax, $29.35. Subtract provincial non-refundable tax credit, $1,100. Add OHIP. So OHIP is a fixed amount of $50,000, and that is $600. Total basic Ontario tax, subtract provincial non-refundable tax credit. $18.35 plus $600. $18.35 plus $600. $28.40. $1,835 plus $600. $2,435. Federal is $4,100. Provincial is $24.35. Total $65.35. Now we are going to do Q&As. That is questions and answers. Does anyone have any Q's?